Let's go over to the Cream Team Fantasy Football League, which last night was not a nice for me. As hey, Stafford, Allen Robinson, he's good. Throw him the ball.
Yeah, I don't know what they give him 2-year deal or something like that.
Gosh, dude, one catch for 12 yards that really killed me. But I like my team overall. How do you feel about your team?
The only issue is I drafted 3 Cowboys, which was my issue. You know that.
That's a big issue.
I took CD with the 2nd-round pick. I did like that a lot. It was between him and Hill, and the only reason why is I like CD because of the explosive.
Oh, Marcelo did have both Stafford and Akers.
I knew he took 2 players from some. I knew it was either Stafford or somebody else.
I mean, if there's a way to do it, you stack the pass catchers with the quarterback, but having both CD and Dalton.
I know that he was the only other option.
You might as well get a jersey at this point, bro.
Exactly.
You should have committed and went with the Cowboys defense.
Schultz was the only other kicker is. Yeah, Schultz was the only other better option. I think it was him and Kmet on the board. And I'm like, I don't know how much Kmet's going to get the ball. He never got it the 2 years prior.
And they just stink.
And they just
that's one of my big no-nos. Don't draft mid players on bad teams.
The only player I'd probably draft from a mid team, or should I say, you say mid garbage to mid team. I say is my favorite team, the Jets, is probably Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore, yeah. There's exceptions, but also you're not running him out there as your wide receiver 1.
No, I put him at 2 or the flex.
I'm more so referring to DK as your wide receiver 1. He's a great player, horrible team.
Come on, let's load.
So you speaking of tight end there, I really went into we're obviously in 2 leagues together. I really went into both those leagues. I wanted to get tight end early because the tight end position. The value of the tight end position gets worse and worse as the draft goes on. So I was not going to take by any means consider even Travis Kelce a top like a 1st-round pick. That would have been overdoing it. But I wanted Travis Kelce in both my leagues because I picked at the 19th pick in our league, which is where I got him, and I picked at 23 and 24 or 24 and 25 in the Publix league, where I got Mark Andrews. If you look at the tight end position in most drafts, after the first 2 guys go, everybody's a reach.
Yeah.
In the Cream Team League, taking Kyle Pitts at the 3-2 was ridiculous.
Yeah, Tyrell taking Najee at 5.
Well, that's what.
That was a big reach. That
was a big reach, but the tight end position.
Yeah.
It's tight ends and quarterbacks, but there's more good quarterbacks. So if you see people reaching, let them reach. But with tight ends, once they start going, there's only a handful that you feel good about starting.
At least round 3 to 6 is when you can really take it. I would say maybe 7 is a tight end. Because then after that, I think once it's Andrews, Pitts, Kelce, Waller, it's you come to the middle end, Hawkinson, Schultz, Knox. It's
Kittle too.
And Kittle, yeah. It's how are you?
I like Goddard and I like a few others guys, but and when you do mock drafts versus when you do real drafts, different things end up happening. But in those real drafts, the tight ends, once they start going, people get nervous because tight end position. I had this issue last year.
This year,
you weren't obviously you weren't in the league last year. Last year, I was the number 1 team in the league, pretty easily. I was the last undefeated team in the last 2 years. I'm 24-3 in the last 2 years in this league, bro. I'm a beast. Watch me go winless. I had to spend 24 hours on a Denny's. We're going to.
Well, yeah, I've told people about that, and they're like, I don't know how you're going to do that if they're going to let you. So it's
it's a 24-hour business. If you find a 24-hour diner, park your butt in a seat and start eating the pancakes.
Just be I'm going to be here.
The one thing that I could never get right was tight end. I eventually traded for Kyle Pitts, and he gave me 2 just solid weeks, and then
stunk.
And then it was 8 or 9 points.
Yeah,
I'm
that was me last year. I had Kyle Pitts and Noah Fant. And it was just I still went undefeated.
I drafted Jonnu Smith. I was hey, he's going over to New England.
Henry did better.
Henry did do better. And I eventually did pick up Henry, and then he was very okay.
Yeah.
It was a revolving door at tight end. And then once I got Pitts, I was screw it. Even if he doesn't live up to what I wanted him to be, I know the talent's there that he could have a good week as opposed to grabbing some scrub off of waivers.
Well, I don't know how he's going to do this year because, I don't. Who's starting? Mariota, yeah.
I think he is the 3rd best tight end, but Kyle took him at 3-2. I'm not taking Kyle Pitts at 3-2. If I didn't get either of those 2 guys, I would have wanted Goddard in the 7th round.
Yeah.
But once tight ends start going, start going. I know I have obviously in the Cream Team League, I have Travis. In the other league, I have in the Publix league, I have Mark Andrews. Yeah. I have the 2 best fantasy tight ends, and I got them both in the 3rd round. and I am very satisfied with that. Moving on, and then like my backup, I have David Njoku in both leagues. Like obviously we were just poo pooing on him, but he can have a decent season.
Like I said, I liked Irv Smith.
I did too as a backup though.
As a backup, only because it's like you only got 2 players to throw to, plus Dalvin Cook out of the backfield. So it's like if you have Irv Smith as that 3rd or 4th option, and I know he has got speed. I liked him out of college, so I do like my team. Hopefully, Dak stays healthy this year. I'm not gonna win.
I had him. I had him the year he snapped his ankle, and I had it
last year.
No, that was 2 years.
Oh,
yeah, 2 years ago. I had an opportunity to flip him. So, Andrew straight up offered me Kyler Murray, who was for Dak. Dak was the number 1 quarterback. Kyler was number 2 quarterback, and Kyler was the guy I truly wanted in fantasy football that year. And well, he was at the time. At the time, they were number 1 and number 2. And I was like, you know what? I ended up with Dak. I'm gonna stick with Dak. And then 2 weeks later, he said,
nope,
he said his ankle said my leg. And he just I don't even know who ended up being. I don't even know who my quarterback ended up being for the rest of the season. But my team bottomed out. And like the Publix league, I'm telling you, I get struck with injuries. It is insane. My injury issues. Last year, I finished, I think, with like the number 2 or 3 points for. I missed the playoffs. Now this year in both leagues, we have a 6-man playoff, which I think is gonna be a lot more fun, and I like that a lot better than the 4-man. I think that's the more inclusive for the playoffs it is for fantasy football, the better. And like I don't want to see the number 1 points total scorer miss the playoffs.
Yeah,
I want to see the best teams in there.
Exactly,
and it's usually me and the cream team. I went 2 years. I mean, also. I didn't win the championship either last 2 years. I got to the championship both the last 2 years, and I lost in the championship last year. I went undefeated 2 years ago. I've in the Cream Team Fantasy Football League. I've had 2 undefeated seasons. One
and lost the championship.
No, one my first undefeated. I actually went properly undefeated. I went undefeated the whole season. I won the championship, and that was just I was like, woo.
That was me last year.
You did?
Yeah.
You had an undefeated season.
I showed you my team. We did a 2 quarterback. And then 2 tight. I think we did like 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends. We did like a big league. It was like for 6 people, and I went.
6?
It was no, I lied. It was more. It was like 8 or 10, I think. And yeah, I went undefeated. I had Kamara, Cup, Debo, J Herb, and my team was stacked. And I went straight up undefeated. I thought my friend was gonna be good. He had Russell Wilson, Calvin Ridley, Christian McCaffrey. By week 3, they were all gone.
Yeah.
The first week he scored 270. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, this kid's gonna kick my ass next week. Next thing you know, I beat him by like 34 points. I'm like, well, that's what happens when Russell Wilson's gone and CMC is made of glass.
Yeah.
So it's like
with the rest with him every single year, and he's still the number 2 pick.
It makes no
in
sense.
both our leagues. I would have taken that because like my idea is you don't play to not lose, you play to win.
Yeah.
And like so anybody can get hurt in football any given week. But last year, the team that got me an undefeated I was the number 1 seed in fantasy last year in the Creed team. I was the last undefeated team. I didn't lose till like week 9 or something, right? I drafted David Montgomery, who stunk.
He got
hurt. I drafted Calvin Ridley. I drafted Jonnu Smith. I drafted a bunch of misses, and
still went undefeated.
Well, what ended up happening was in hindsight, in history, I fleeced. So everybody hated Adam because he traded me Devontae Adams.
For what?
Actually, it's better. So he traded. So
yes, I might still make a trade.
I wish I had the trade in front of me. I traded him. Calvin Ridley. Somebody else. I traded him David Montgomery, Calvin Ridley, and Chase Claypool for Devontae Adams. I think was it Josh Jacobs? No. It was Devontae Adams. It was Antonio Gibson, and it was Michael Pittman. So
was he the last seed? Was he?
Adam went winless. Except for he didn't win his first game till like the second to last game of the season.
That's what most people do. They trade away their good players.
But what happened was it wasn't supposed to be Chase Claypool. Originally, I was supposed to trade him. Antonio Brown instead. Originally, it was supposed to be Calvin Ridley, David Montgomery, and AB for just Devontae Adams and Antonio Gibson, right? And we had the trade. It wasn't handshook, but it was we were negotiating texting, and I was like, okay, cool, it's gonna be all done. But we had to wait because the week this is week 2. The deal was completed Monday of week 1, so we had to wait. So Tuesday morning, I wake up to a text message and say with an offer of asking for me, asking for David Montgomery, Calvin Ridley, and Chase Claypool instead of Antonio Brown. I'm like, whoa, what's the deal with that? We had this agreed upon. He's like, actually, I changed my mind. I want Claypool. And we went back and forth. And he's like, ultimately, I'm not going to trade you unless you give me Claypool. Just as a throwaway. I was like, okay, you're going to do that? Give me Michael Pittman.
Oh, wow.
Devontae Adams and Michael Pittman were my number 1, number 2 receivers till later in the season when I got Justin Jefferson.
How the hell did you give Jefferson too? Oh, I had Jefferson too last year.
That was me and Donovan pulled off. It actually ended up being an equal trade. So he got I also got Mike Williams. I started with a completely different starting roster from what I drafted.
So week 1 to week 2 is just something else.
Well, this will end up being like week 1 to week 1 of the playoffs was a literally completely different team. The team I drafted stunk.
Who's your quarterback?
Oh, I think that might have been like the one. I think that might have been the one guy that was consistent. I think it was Kyler.
Okay.
I think Kyler was the one. One of the leagues I had Kyler. Oh yeah, one league I had Kyler. The public league I had Lamar. Lamar got hurt obviously, and that kind of derailed my season. But getting Kyler in the Cream Team league, he was great, and then he got hurt, and then I don't remember who I played instead of him. But yeah, I had a completely different roster from week 1 to the week 1 of the playoffs, and that you entered at a good time. The league was toxic last year. The league was really toxic last year. Like not everybody hated me, but like everybody was mad. So hear me out. You're hearing this unbiased, right? Everybody was mad at me for making those. I also got Najee Harris in a trade.
Okay.
So I got Najee Harris, and at the time it was I got Najee Harris and Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins at the time looked good, but ended up being nothing. Got him for that I forget who it was for, but that deal was actually worse. I forgot who I gave up. Like, the 2 consistencies I had on my team was Kyler Murray and Dalvin Cook. So my starting lineup was Kyler Murray, Dalvin Cook, Najee Harris, Devontae Adams, Michael Pittman, which eventually turned into Justin Jefferson, Kyle Pitts, and then just I think Mike Williams. I don't remember if I ended up trading Michael Williams or not, or I think I did, and then that guy just rotated. That team was so good. But the trade I got Najee for was even more of a fleece. And it was for Nehemiah. And then
you're trying to fleece me this year.
I just throw offers out there, and most of the time, sometimes it's a legitimate offer, sometimes it's just let's see what bites.
Marquise Brown and James Conner from Mike Evans. Okay.
Bro, I'm playing Warzone, right? I'm about to go into work, right? I'm an hour away from going to work. I get a trade offer from Nehemiah. He's gonna give me Joe Mixon for like a bag of chips.
Well, how bad were these? Okay, the only reason why...
And Nehemiah almost made the playoffs, and he auto-drafted his team. That's the best year he ever had was he auto-drafted his team last year. And this year he drafted and he takes DJ Moore in the second round.
It's a very questionable pick. I do like DJ Moore, though, because of Baker, because he's the
the second round.
Yeah, second round.
Keenan Allen, Mike Evans.
Yeah, he could have went 3rd or 4th.
Tyreek Hill.
Most likely back in 3rd.
Yeah. So he sent me everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, like most of the people already hate me at this point. Tyrell was so mad at me. Jay was like, he was a little more reasonable, but he was still like, well, they're mad about. I was like, oh, you're commissioner. How can you be accepting those trades? I'm like, I'm a player just as much as you guys are.
Yeah.
Like if I'm allowed to negotiate just as much as you guys are. Don't get mad at me that they made these bad trades.
Exactly.
And also don't get mad at me that you guys didn't choose to veto these trades.
Yeah.
Last year, I didn't put a single trade through. I didn't put one trade through because we had some other toxic issues the year before where I maybe put a trade through too early, didn't let people vote on. I was like, okay, you know what? This year I'm not putting any trades through. So all those trades got put through because nobody vetoed them.
Yeah.
Then they're getting mad at me. Like I'm supposed to say, oh, I'm sorry. That's not a good trade for you. I'm going to decline. No, if it's a good trade for me, I'm taking the trade. I'm here to win, bro.
Exactly.
So I had a really stacked team, and they all hated me.
I would hate you too.
And then that deal happened, and Nehemiah sends me that. I screenshot it. I send it to the chat. I'm like, look, guys, I'm accepting this. I'm putting this here, so there's no confusion. There's no
yell. Yeah.
There's no yelling like, oh, I accepted it. Nobody saw it in time. And blah 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 blah. Like, no, I accepted it. I screenshot. I'm like, here, you guys, just look at it. And of course, they still yell.
Yeah.
Like, what am I? Are you rejecting that trade? Nobody said they were rejecting.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So I don't want it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm excited for fantasy football this year, except for the fact that Allen Robinson apparently is just wearing camouflage.
Yeah.
Or he's just not the right for Matt Stafford.
They paid him all this money for him to do nothing.
He just
That's
do absolutely nothing.
He had one catch?
He had one catch for 12 yards.
He got 12 yards, over 10.
And Donovan's team's projected to beat me this week. Let's look at your matchup.
Andrew.
You're playing Andrew. Oh, why is your name This League is Joey C?
I don't know. I just put it as my name, and
This league is Joey C.
Exactly.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I just put
Do you understand the reference of my team name?
I have to look at it. What is it?
Aaron Balake. Key and Peele.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Balake. Timothy. D nice.
It's Denise. No, it's Dina.
Substitute teacher, greatest Key and Peele sketch ever. That, and then I also used to rotate names. The Key and Peele skit, the Pro Bowl names.
Oh yeah,
squeeze. Hashtag.
What's the what's the
and AA Ron Balake. And the reason why I did that is because I have Aaron Jones. AA Ron Jones or AA Ron Balake. I'm excited. I'm excited for week 1.